Me, 28/F, with my husband, 28/M, of 2 years, cheated on me while I was home giving birth to our first child. Need help. My husband was starting a job in Taiwan on August 2nd and I wasn't able to come because our first child was due on August 13th, so he went alone. Once the baby came we didn't get to Taiwan until November 11th, my husband flew home on the 5th to fly back with us because it's an entire day of traveling. Once I got here everything was going great and on November 29th he happened to get silly and give me his phone to call my grandma and it was open on an email account I've never seen before. From that email I discovered he had a fake Facebook, Tinder account, Line account and OkCupid account. So I hacked into his Facebook account and got into the Tinder account. He had over 30 messages between him and different women in Taiwan talking about meeting up etc. So I took a few screenshots and confronted him about it all. He told me he was sorry and it was a stupid game his friends used to play to find info on as many girls as they could, but he never did anything with any of them, so I kind of let it go. Then I was looking at bars in Taiwan a few days later trying to see what the nightlife was like here and I find pictures of my husband all over at different parties with the same girl or her and her friends. So I asked him again and he said he didn't do anything with them and didn't tell me cause he knew I would get jealous. I just had that feeling that something wasn't right so I kept begging him to just tell me if he cheated and what he's been lying about. During the 3 months apart he hardly wanted to talk to me because he was always too tired but now I found out it was because he was going out and telling me he was going to sleep. I go back to Tinder, sign back in and all the messages that were there previously are gone so I just start matching with everyone not sure what I'm going to find. Then on December 7th I get a message on Tinder from some girl and she's mad, asking what she did for him to hurt her and ignore her. So at first I pretend to be him and then I can't take it so I just come clean and tell her who I am. I ask her if she has slept with my husband and she says yes. I ask her how many times and she says 2 and I say well I hope you used protection? And she says no. I'm still completely amazed my husband could not use protection with her and he barely knew her. I asked when this happened and she said sometime in September was the first time and on November 4th before he returned home to NY he spent the night with her, got up in the morning and got on the plane. Makes me sick to know that the next night he came home and had romance with me. She sends me all the messages between them and tells me the last time she spoke to him was November 20th, while I was in Taiwan, which I found out it was on the 16th and 20th while he was at work. Telling her how he misses her body and asking for pics from her and how tight and wet she was etc. How he is going to try to see her. I believe the only reason he didn't message her again was because I found out about the Tinder shortly after and he didn't want me to find out he was cheating. The girl agreed to even meet and confront him so he couldn't lie anymore but he saw our exchange of messages and came home with a smirk on his face and just said I cheated like he just won a prize. Since finding all this out I've been seriously dying inside. I've never felt so disrespected or betrayed. I cry daily and have nightmares. The first week I found out I literally didn't eat. I drank just so I didn't have to feel anything. I'm really trying to make it work and deal with it because I want my son to have both of his parents together but it's so hard. It's all I think about all day. I don't know if I am doing the right thing by staying. I was so in love with him and I didn't see this coming. He says he's sorry and will never do it again. Every day he acts like nothing happened and that I'm supposed to act normal. I feel like he doesn't understand. I could never cheat on him, especially the way he did to me. I don't want to stay and he thinks it's okay to do. I really don't know what to do. I just know the pain is unbearable and my whole world changed. Too long, didn't read, husband cheated on me twice and lied about it. Update, I do not want to stay and I am leaving. I was just making sure I was doing the right thing because we have a son. My son is the most important thing to me and I know we will be okay. I have already contacted a lawyer and my family. I know that everything that is being said is the truth. I could never trust him again. I am in process of getting my tickets as his company pays for flights you take. Thanks to everyone that responded to my post.
Hey guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out, thanks.
So he never came to visit you and his new child between August and November? Wow. He is terrible man, and you need to get away from him. It will be incredibly hard, but worse if you stay. Listen, this is terrible for you, and with a new baby and all, but you need to get divorced and get a lawyer who will get you good child support in place. It will be hard to enforce it if you live in different countries. Then go back home. Your husband sounds like a PFA of poop, and he kept in contact with the girl even after you were there. Not what I expect of a person who just had a baby. Don't stay with him. Yes, your child would benefit from being in a home with two parents, but not if those two parents resent each other. Leave him, get over him, and after a while you will meet someone else who will love and respect you. I, F24, have been accused of being the other woman. I am not. What should I do? Names have been changed for obvious reasons. I met Gary, 30s, a couple years ago because I sat near him during a class at university. He was really friendly, and throughout the course we agreed to study for tests together. At no time ever did the relationship become inappropriate. Nor have I ever seen him outside of school. Me and Gary have had a few classes together. His minor and mine are the same, and we became friends. We talk about normal friend things, have lunch between classes, that sort of thing. I knew that Gary had a wife and 2 kids, and he'd regularly show me pictures of his kids and what they were up to. So this year I did a study abroad and have been out of the country for 7 months. I just came back a couple months ago, and Gary wanted to meet up to catch up and hear about my exchange. We are both taking spring classes. He texted me to meet up, and asked where I was, and I said our usual spot, which happened to be the A&W at the uni cafeteria. He comes, we chat about how our last year has been, and he leaves. Now here is where things get interesting. Last night I get a call from Gary's phone at like midnight. I thought this is weird because he's never called me before, but it's midnight, so maybe he's stuck with a flat somewhere or something. So I answer. On the other end of the line there's a woman. Hello? Is this Sloppy Joe's Airy Sexy? Yeah, is it true that Gary has been sleeping at your house sometimes? I should mention here that I'm really bad in high-pressure social situations. The question completely caught me off guard and I went into autistic mode. Gary has never been to my house, he doesn't even know where I live. Do you know that he has a wife and 2 kids? Yeah, don't you feel disgusting? No. Right after I said no, it finally hit me what was happening. She thought Gary was cheating on her. With me? And my hesitation about him staying at my house was basically an admission of guilt. His wife went into full rampage mode after this, telling me he was the love of her life. Described to me in great detail some of the romantic acts they do together. How I had ruined everything. She said she snooped through her husband's phone, and saw the text that said, "Where are you?" Then our usual spot. And assumed the worst. I went into preventing collateral damage mode. I started to tell her that I haven't even been in the country for the last 7 months, and that if she wanted I could send her the landing stamps on my passport. I told her she could snoop my Facebook, anything. But of course she said that the passport isn't proof enough, that I could have deleted things on Facebook, etc. She closed by telling me, "Congratulations, you have ruined a marriage," and hung up. I want to say that I think Gary is a really nice guy. Obviously I don't want him to lose his family over something completely unfounded. He seems like a good dad and everything, and I would hate to see his life ruined over this. I feel very bad about the whole situation. My question to you guys is, what can I do now? I'm afraid of texting or calling him to ask if things are okay, or what I can do to clear things up, because his wife will probably read it as me trying to cover my tracks. I have his university email address. I just want to help him absolve himself from this. Any advice is appreciated. Edit, I forgot to mention above that Gary works nights full-time to support his family while also going to school full-time. So this explains why he spends nights outside the home. Too long, didn't read. I accidentally ruined a marriage. You didn't ruin anything. Sounds like their marriage had some issues before this. She was snooping, so she's either a suspicious person or he has given her reasons to be suspicious. Gary also should have told his wife he was hanging out with you. I don't mind my husband having lunch with female friends, but he tells me about it. Not that I would flip out and divorce him if he didn't though. If Gary asks for your help, you can help him, but otherwise stay out of it. Anything you do will probably only make things worse. Let him clean up his mess. If his marriage is really ruined over this misunderstanding, it was on the brink to begin with. Do not reach out to her. If Gary wants help, he can reach out. If she contacts you again, I'd say something like this: I'm sorry you believe your husband has been cheating on you. If he has been, I'm not aware of it, and it certainly hasn't been with me. Gary and I have only been friends from day one. We've had a couple of classes together, and occasionally we'll grab lunch. He's never been to my house and there have been no intimate relations between us. I'm sorry if he didn't tell you about our friendship, but that's your relationship issue. If Gary has been spending nights away from home, it hasn't been with me. I'm sorry you're dealing with this. I suggest you and Gary get some marriage counseling. Stay away. You have no idea what his wife does or doesn't have access to, so no email, texts, Facebooks, nothing. I know you want to help, but getting involved further won't.